Hello and welcome back to another installment of PokeFodder, and today we have version 6.0. You know, this kind of came out of the blue. Nobody was really expecting a major update. We did not have a super long lead up or build up into 6.0, but we have a lot of really nice things in this newest version. So let's just jump right into everything that we got going on here. And there is quite a bit. We will start at the beginning. As I'm sure you know, Black Kiram, White Kiram, Cortana, they're all here, all UXs. 33 figures are available between UX and EX rarities. Looking at the new figures, Kiram, we already knew about. Laurentiis, Cacturne, not Cacturne, Cacturne. Tangrowth, Tangelo, and for Mantis. So pretty much what I suspected, where we got everything that we had seen full visions of. Remember in the teaser video, there were the two screenshots of 6 where the second 6 were ghosted out, and I said I believe those will probably be in a future banner and did not mean to close that out. But that seems to have been the case. If we continue on here, there are new plates. Miracle Seed, choose one of your grass type Pokemon on the field. While that Pokemon is on the field, it deals plus 20 damage and your turn ends. Same thing as Overdrive. Well, no, because Overdrive you can still use your plate, so turn ends. And then there's this Never Melt Ice. Choose one of your Ice-type Pokemon on the field. While that Pokemon is on the field, it does plus 20 damage, and your turn ends. We have, and those are only available in the 10 packs, just so you know. And then in the shop is the DNA Splicer. Choose one of your Kiram on the field and one of your Zekrom or Reshiram on the field or bench or in the PC. Exclude that figure from the duel and change the form of Kiram to Black Kiram or White Kiram. Your turn ends. Moving all the Silver Moon Hall, which I don't really even play anymore, but that's that. The second anniversary login bonus. So, to commemorate the second anniversary of Pokemon Duel, we are offering a login bonus during the following period. By logging in during that period, you can get stuff like a ticket that opens up a free booster 10-pack. I already posted my booster openings, and that was the very first thing that you see. I'll put a link to that video here just in case you missed it. A second anniversary commemorative mask and a UX cube and more. This is your chance. So if you log in, you get all that. I believe that you got a UX cube, a UX ingot, and a UX rare metal, where all of the items for that. 1 free booster 6-pack. Very generous. Like, this was a very, very generous anniversary. Between, you got a mask, you got a free 6-pack, you got, there were 10 extra gems because maintenance lasted longer. You got a UX metal ingot and rare metal, or a cube ingot and rare metal. Very good stuff. The Rocket Starter Booster has been revamped and started over. If you'll remember, if you don't remember, when you first started the game, you had the option of buying the Booster Starter Pack. Basically what it was is super cheap gems to get you started into spending gems. And that has been brought back. And the second anniversary celebration. We've already talked about Black Kiram and White Kiram. That is the first thing. We already knew that. Social features are here. Social features are now available. These new features allow you to do things like compete in social rankings and follow top players. So we'll go into that in a minute. Tournaments are going to be added soon. We knew that already, that they're going to have like pre-tournament registration later this month. Not really sure exactly what all that is. The Rocket Start sale is back. We talked about that, and what you're going to get is 876 gems for $8. Yeah, $8, or 360 gems for $4. The Rocket Starter boosters have been revamped. the special login bonuses, the free boosters. So there you go. That, my friends, is what you need to know. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to show you how to get to your social function first. And I'm going to have to cut this video and like jump a screen. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit menu. And then when I do, that's going to show my support ID, which I'm not going to do. But there's also within that screen is going to be a social button. So I'm going to hit menu and then I'm going to hit social. Just so that you guys know, and when the video picks back up, I will have already hit that. So whenever you hit that social tab, this is what you're going to see. You can do a player search. You're going to need to know the player's ID. If you want, you can head over to my Discord. I've got a page or channel set up for people to post their player IDs. Don't get that mixed up with your support ID. They are two different numbers. So this is my ID here. You can add friends, you can search for friends. You even have the option whenever you play a room match or a league match to add your opponent as a friend. I guess if you had a really good duel, you can add them there. If we slide back, followers. And here is where I feel like they missed an opportunity. These are all the people I follow. I believe everybody here pretty much is in the end guild. But it's capped at 50 people, and you count as one of the 50. So if you look, like I'm here, and it's capped at 50. So it's kind of a bummer. I wish that this would have been larger. But you're going to have the options for monthly ranking, again, capped at 50, and then event ranking. You can also see who your mutual followers are, and that is going to be the same number of people. If we jump back, you can see your followers. Again, I think they kind of missed a boat here because it's capped at 50 people, but you count as one of those 50 people as long as you're not the lowest ranking person. Maybe I am. Maybe I have, and I think I do. I think I have 50 friends who are all rated higher than me. So I'm not even on my own friends list. I really think that this should be significantly longer. I don't know why you'd cap it at 50, but I'm not even my own friend on this list. And then you can go to mutual followers. You're going to get, whenever you have 15 followers, you're going to get this really cool mask. That's actually the one that I'm wearing. When you follow 30 players, you're going to get an EX rare medal. I haven't even followed 30 players yet, so I need to do that. And then when you have 10 mutual follows, you're going to gain an EX cube, and everybody is excited about those. So that covers the social features. If you look, you can see that I did change my look. I really do like the shiny Rayquaza mask, but I think this one's pretty dope as well. The special login mask is Charizard, just in case you did not know and haven't picked that up yet. And now the reason why probably all of you are here, let's look at the new figures that are available in the 10 packs. We have Black Kiram. It is a Dragon Ice type with the ability of Terravolt. This Pokemon can only be set as a form in a deck. The effects of abilities of the battle opponent that increase or decrease attack damage are nullified. This Pokemon can if you move over other Pokemon. When this Pokemon is knocked out, it can change form to Kiram without moving to the PC. If it does, and there are any of your Zekrom that have been excluded from the duel, move one of the Zekrom to the bench. So if you'll remember when we talked about the DNA splice plate, you're going to splice your Kiram and your Zekrom together. Your Zekrom is now banished from the match. When Black Kiram gets knocked out, your Zekrom is going to come back. And instead of your Black Kiram going to the PC, it sounds like Kiram is going to remain, and then your Zekrom is going to go to the bench. Now, I don't have Black Kiram, so I can't test this for you guys. I guess I could craft it. But what I'm going to do is I'm headed on vacation again starting Wednesday. So what I'm going to do is tomorrow, which is Tuesday, I'm going to actually record spotlights for the rest of the week. I will definitely try to find some matches that highlight Black Kiram. Also of note, I believe there is a glitch similar to the Mega Scissor glitch from a couple of updates ago, where it seems like people are able to put Black Kiram on the board straight away without doing the, you're allowed to put it in your deck and then just bring it straight out on the board without having to do all the fusion. So just know that there is that glitch that I believe is there. If we look at the wheel, it's a 4-wheel miss, a 16 fly, 32 freeze shock, which hits for 140. Now, I don't know, again, because I don't have these, and I've honestly not even seen these things in action. I don't know if you get plus 10 off the evolution from DNA splicing from Kiram to Black Kiram. So it's either 140 or 150. Just be aware of that. It's one of those two for sure. The battle opponent becomes paralyzed, which is bizarre for a freeze shock. If the battle opponent has weight, the battle opponent is knocked out instead of this Pokemon. Another 16 fly. This Pokemon jumps over a 4 dodge and then Fusion Bolt. So this is the exact same wheel as Zekrom. If this Pokemon is not affected by any special condition and any of your Pokemon on the field has Fusion Flare attack, exclude Pokemon knocked out by this attack from the duel. And this is for 100. So almost like it's a stronger Zekrom unless you're running a Coco and an electric deck, and then it's kind of a weaker. So kind of interesting there. Not sure how I feel about Black Kiram. Like I said, I don't have it, but that's a lot of fly. 32 is a lot of fly. It is a UX, which means it's going to cost 150 Carmonite to start moving things around. And the good thing is it has no miss at level 5. So that's something to look forward to. But it's going to cost you, for what I have, I think my 388, I think it costs 389 in order to take a UX all the way up to level 5. Honestly, I probably will not craft this figure. And if you do have this figure, I don't know that it is worth the investment to take up to level 5 yet. I want to know more about this figure before I say this is a figure I think you should take. If we move on, we're going to go to White Kiram. It's a Dragon Ice and it has the ability of Turbo Blaze. This Pokemon can only be set as a form in a deck. Again, I think there's a bug where you can just flat out run it. Although I think I've only heard of Black Kiram having that glitch. But just know that there's some kind of a glitch there. This Pokemon can only be set. The effects of abilities of the battle opponent that increase or decrease attack damage are nullified. This Pokemon can MP move over other Pokemon. When this Pokemon is knocked out, it can change forms, blah, 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 blah. So I like the fact that it nullifies the increase attack damage. But again, it's only on if I'm reading this right, it's only on the figure that actually has the buff. So Coco attacking into you would not get the damage buff. What is it? Stuffle attacking into you would not have your damage. Lunala attacking into you would not have your damage. I wish that this would be more like if it's on the field, those effects are completely gone. That way that the Swablu decks are not doing minus 60 when these figures are on the board completely. I think that would be nice. That might be too overpowered, but I think that would be a more useful. We have a 4-miss, a 16 Draco Meteor. One of the Pokemon on the field spins. You get to choose which one. If they spin a miss or a white attack of 70 damage or more, they are knocked out. That is super useful, especially in this meta. You know, everybody says, oh, power creep, power creep, power creep. And it's a passive power creep that we're seeing. And it's more to do with figures like 90 knocking out people who hit for 110 or higher. You've got the Stuffles, you've got the Swablus, you've got the Lunalas who all lower your damage. So it's yes, it's power creep, but like the 70 that hits for 140, speaking of Lunala, can still take out Mew, which would be, you know, which would not take any damage on the gold if you were hitting for higher than 100. So it's kind of a weird passive power creep. I actually don't really think it's power creep. I think they've actually done a good job of keeping things from getting too out of hand. I love the move Draco Meteor. It's one of the reasons why I really like Flygon. Flygon's just kind of hard to get to be evolved off of Vibrava, but I think it's a really good move. We have Ice Burn, 32 wheel slice that hits for 140. The battle opponent becomes burned. See, Ice Burn makes sense. The freeze and paralyze doesn't, but then Zekrom paralyzes, so I guess it makes sense, but not really. If the battle opponent has weight, the battle opponent is knocked out instead of this Pokemon. With this banner right here, there's a lot of weight, and I'm wondering if an electric deck with Raikou would not be a nice counter to all the weight figures that we now have. Again, Draco Meteor, another 4 miss, which one of those 2 miss sections will go away at level 5. Fusion Flare for 100 if this Pokemon is not affected by special conditions. It's the same as Reshiram, where that is the banish move, and like we mentioned when we got the information that they were going to change the wording to this move, I kind of knew that this was going to happen. It's basically the same wheel as Reshiram, just a little more powerful. I actually like Draco Meteor way more than I like Fly, so if I were going to craft either of the Kiram UX figures, I would go with White Kiram over Black Kiram. And this one may be with being able to remove the miss. I know it doesn't have no miss, but I think that it might be worth, because you're going to have this figure for more than the 7 turns. These aren't limited. You have this figure until you get knocked out. I think it's pretty good. This would be one that I'd look into crafting. Now we have Kiram. It is a Dragon Ice with the ability of Permafrost if this Pokemon is not affected by a special condition. Now notice, all of these figures they can't have a status effect on them. I think that adds a cool little element, especially because so many figures create special conditions at this time. It really puts a value and a premium on being able to keep your figures intact. The frozen condition of the Pokemon within 2 steps of this Pokemon cannot be removed by tagging. So if you think of Bergmite, when Bergmite is next to a frozen figure, that frozen figure can't be tagged and unfrozen. This one Kiram just has to be within 2 steps. If we look at the wheel, it's got 2 4-miss slices. Those are actually you're going to lose one of those at level 5. 12 Fly. We already know what Fly does. 40 Ice Beam that hits for 110. If this Pokemon is knocked out, the battle opponent becomes frozen. 40 is really big. I want to say that only Dratini has a larger Ice Beam, although don't quote me on that, because I believe Mighty Ina has like Ice Fang, but I don't know how big it is. I want to say it's 36. I doubt that it's 40, but that's what's keeping me from saying this is the second largest to Dratini, although I do believe that this is the second largest to Dratini if you were trying to run an ice deck. 12 of Outrage, which hits for 150. This Pokemon becomes confused. A lot of people are like, wait, why would I want my own figure confused? Well, actually, if you look at it, the biggest wheel slice is Ice Beam. When it's confused, that is going to slide over to Outrage. So your 150 just became 40 size. I think that's pretty good. It also helps with figures that have confusion, because confusion wrecks a lot of figures. This one actually gets stronger. You could actually break out my boy Spinda and confuse your own figure. Another 4-miss, and then we have, what is this? Glaciate. All opposing Pokemon on the field that are not fire, water, ice, or steel type spin, attach an MP -1 marker to those that spin wide attacks. I actually think that's a pretty interesting a move. It is just 1 star, so it's not going to win very often, but if you're looking at going up against an Ultra Beast deck, there's a lot of white, and 1-star purple is going to be plenty strong to win those rolls. So I don't know how I feel about Kiram. I definitely would not say go out and matte Kiram. I have Kiram. If you watched my booster opening videos, you saw that I pulled a couple of these. I haven't used them at all, but that's not because I don't want to. It's just I haven't figured out what kind of deck to run them in just yet. Moving on, we have Cortana, which I believe completes the main roster of the Ultra Beasts. I do believe, and it's my understanding, that there are a couple more Ultra Beasts, but they're not like the main Ultra Beasts, and I'm not sure how that works out. But everything that I've seen doesn't list them, but other people talk about, well, they're technically Ultra Beasts. So I will let the Pokemon lore experts tell you in the comments below how that all plays out, because I just don't know. But this is like a lot of you said, most notably Showtime and other people on his live streams said that they thought Cortana was going to be a 3MP figure, and it was. And this was also the gold figure that the Ultra Beasts were lacking. It's Grass Steel with the ability of Paper Sword. In this Pokemon's first battle, after moving to the field, it can attack a Pokemon that are 2 steps away. When it does, this Pokemon's attacks have range 2. If it knocks out a Pokemon with a cracked marker on it, that Pokemon, excluding Fire type, moves to Ultra Space. Now let me just tell you, I really like the attacking from 2 steps away. You cannot be knocked out. All you can do is knock out. So if you roll, your 61 into, we'll just say Zork's 90, you're not knocked out, which it's cool. It gives you a do-over. Like, I believe that's X defend, But I will say that the cracked markers, if you're thinking about running this with Buzzwole, in order for Buzzwole to land a cracked marker, it's very situational in the fact that A, you have to land your blue, but B, your opponent has to have an attack that lands for 130 or more in order to attach the cracked marker. I'm going to say that in 100 duels, you might see that happen one time. I think if you're going to rely on the cracked marker, you're going to want to have some kind of a combination between Scissor. But even then, if you're running Scissor, how many figures are actually in Ultra Space? Unless there's somebody out there that can put together like a Steel deck where you have Scissor and Cortana, and then you'd want to have your Celesteela, so that figures are in Ultra Space, and that Scissor can reliably attach a cracked marker. I think there's something there. It seems pretty convoluted and complicated, but I think at the end of the day, you could make something. I'm just saying, if you're going to run an Ultra Beast deck with the idea of running cracked, there are other ways to go about it, and I think those include using Scissor and probably Mega Scissor, just to be honest. 2 wheel slices of 16 Vacuum Wave that hit for 71. Remember, all the Ultra Beasts are prime numbers. It has something to do with Pokemon lore. So you're going to have 32 gold. Not bad at all. 12 misses, quite a bit. That will go down to 4 at level 10. Actually, at level 9, it'll be down at 4. And then a 52 of Ultra Blade, which hits for 61. If there are any Pokemon in Ultra Space, this damage is multiplied by the number of those Pokemon. Now, the one thing that I don't know, because I haven't had it, I've run this like I've run it in 4 duels, but it never came up, is if you Rocket Ride your Celesteela off the board, 61 times 1 is still 61. So is it 61 times 2, or do you actually have to have 2? And my gut tells me that Celesteela would actually have to knock out a figure and send it to Ultra Space, or your Nihilego has to be in Ultra Space for that to be, what is that, 122? And 122 is, it's awesome for a runner. It's meh for an attacker, but just keep that in mind. That I think this figure is good in an Ultra Beast deck. I don't think it's great. I think it's good, but I can see some symmetry and some synergy between some of the other grass figures, because this is a grass type where you can get some damage buffs going, and then I think you have a really solid runner at that point. Moving on, Laurentiis, all grass, green power. This Pokemon cannot be paralyzed. If this Pokemon is on the field and is not affected by a special condition, your grass type Pokemon deal +2 damage for each grass type Pokemon on the field. Think of it as an Oricorio, but you're going to get +2 instead of +1. If we look at the wheel, it's going to have 16 miss, which will go down to 8 total at level 9. 52 size Solar Blade, it hits for 120. If the battle opponent has weight, the battle opponent is knocked out instead of this Pokemon. And then Petal Blizzard for 90. All opposing Pokemon on the field spin. Those that spin miss are knocked out. That is going to be the same thing as Earthquake. It's just a different name. We already know what Buzzwole is. We already know what Mega Altaria, Mega Sableye, Zekrom, Reshiram, Altaria, Decidueye. Like I've said before, having leveled up your Decidueye, it did get a buff. So if you had Decidueye before, go back into your menu and reallocate all your chain levels, all your levels. I think Decidueye is the premium gold attacker in the game because at level 9 or level 10, your gold can be either 40 or 41 after 2 evolutions. And let me tell you that Rowlet up to Decidueye is not impossible. You're not going to do it every game, but it is not impossible. And even Dartrix, if that's as far as you get, even Dartrix with an evolution is actually a really nice, solid, rare figure in and of itself. But that'll make your gold 110 plus any chain levels that you may have. I like it. Articuno. I'm telling you, people said Articuno is still not good, even with the 130 buff. I'm telling you, give it a chance. I think it's great. I think the Cold Crush comes in and can help you beat figures like Zoroark. And yes, it's just one figure, but remember, there's also Mew in the game. I know nobody runs Mew anymore, but some people do. And there are times where hitting for under 110 is actually a good thing. You can still knock out Tapu Kokos. You can still knock out almost every other runner. Your 130, think how many times your Zapdos rolls Steel Wing. That is going to be 130 now. In my opinion, I still leveled up the Ice Charge on this figure when I took mine up to level 5, even when I went and reallocated everything. And I'm telling you that leveling up Ice Charge, there's really not a bad roll on this wheel anymore. The 90 has purpose, especially with any chain levels. And this figure is so old now that a lot of them have chain levels. The 130 is great. Ice Charge, phenomenal. Roost can help you repair any statuses. The only bad roll is miss, and I can handle a 4 miss if that's what you've got. Then we go to Cacturne. It's a rare. I actually thought this was going to be an uncommon, but it is a rare. It's a grass dark type with sneaky steps. If there are no opposing Pokemon within 2 steps of this Pokemon has MP3 while on the field. That can actually get you some nice little cheese wins if you move it as a 1 MP figure onto your opponent's entry point and they're like, well, it's just 1 MP. I don't have to cover my goal completely. You can get a couple nice cheese wins out of that. I guarantee it's going to happen to me. I'm going to forget if you're running this figure, which should be a fairly easy evolution coming out of Cacturne. You probably, I'm going to say you will get some cheese wins out of this. At level 5, it has no miss, 28 Wheel Slice of Sucker Punch for 50, 64 Bullet Seed, which is 20 times spin again until Bullet Seed does not land, and damage will be multiplied. I don't know a lot about this figure. I know a lot of people are excited about this figure. I'm just going to be totally honest. The only new figure I've even toyed with or done anything with is the Ultra Beast, Cortana. And so what I'm going to do is while I'm gone, and what that means is tomorrow, I'm going to do videos on spotlights of all these. So I will go into a lot more detail, cover the wheels, find games that utilize these figures' abilities, and you guys will get the most in-depth knowledge. Then we have Tangrowth. It is a grass with the ability of Entangle. If there are no Pokemon next to this Pokemon, instead of an MP move, you can force an opponent Pokemon that is 2 steps away from this Pokemon to spin. If you do, this Pokemon gains weight 3. If the spin results in a white attack, the opposing Pokemon comes one step closer and gains weight. I'm not sure how that's useful. Unless you set up some kind of a surround, I don't know. I would have to use this figure and see it in action to know how that's useful. But where this figure actually shines is the 28 wheel slice of Energy Ball, which is just a 1-star purple unless you come out of the evolution of Tangelo. While this battle opponent is on the field, all of that Pokemon's blue attacks that are not dodge become misses. That is going to cripple any Ultra Beast deck, I'm just telling you right now. At least as far as the call signal cheese. You're going to cripple that. 40 wheel slice of Power Whip, which hits for 100. The battle opponent gains weight 3. And then Sleep Powder, a 20 wheel slice, 1-star purple where your opponent falls asleep. 8 miss, which is going to be 4 at level 5 and or level 9, 10, anything after 5. Now, the one figure that is not here, that there's 2 figures that are not there that I do want to go over, are going to be, as we scroll down to the uncommons, the user interface, a whole lot faster. Very excited about that. Probably the best improvement that I saw. I finally have a Delibird. But let's go look at Tangelo first. This is a grass type with the ability Regenerator. If one of your other Pokemon is knocked out, and this Pokemon is in the PC, this Pokemon moves to the bench. I can get behind that. There are worse abilities. 63 wheel slice of Bind, which hits for -16 because you get 1 free sea level whenever you pull these out of the 10 packs. Spin again until Bind does not land. Damage is multiplied by the number of Bind spins. The battle opponent gains weight X, where X is the number of Bind spins. At 63, like, there will be the time that you roll the 8 or the 10. It's not going to happen often. Typically, you're probably going to roll between 2 and 3, would be my guess. And so, you know, weight 2, weight 3, it's all right. 24 wheel slice of purple 2-star Constrict. The battle opponent now has weight. Remember what I was saying before, a lot of these figures give weight, which Raikou, Electric Deck, you know, Raikou might be a good addition. 9 miss, I think it starts at 12. So 9 miss at level 4, which is going to be 8 at level 5, and then 4 at level 9 and above. And then finally, for Mantis, with the ability of Greenhouse, this Pokemon cannot be paralyzed. If this Pokemon is on the field and is not affected by a special condition, your MP1 grass type Pokemon on the field gain +1 MP. Trevenant, Toxic. I'm super excited to get this into matches and test that out. I don't know what is going to be better. A 20 wheel slice of Grass Knot. If the battle opponent spends 120 or higher, you're actually going to get 2 of those, so that's going to be 40. So just under half the wheel. It's the same size as Zapdos at level 9, just for reference. A 30 wheel slice of Synthesis, and this is what I would level up if I were going to level this figure up. While they are on the field, your Glass type Pokemon deal +20 damage to the battle opponent. That doesn't mean if this figure gets knocked out, you lose your buff. It's if I'm running Sceptile and this figure hits Synthesis, my Sceptile is going to do +20 until my Sceptile gets knocked out, and it stacks. It could be over the course of a game where, you know, you land this, especially if you take it up to, what is this? It goes to 32 at level 5, so 37 at level 10. You could realistically hit this 3-4 times in a game and have a figure that could be doing +60 or +80 damage, and it's going to be really hard to knock that figure out. I'm just saying. Anyway, and then 12 dodge. So that is everything that we have for version 6.0. I'm really excited about a lot of the features here. I think it was a good update. There are some bugs. A lot of people are saying that they're getting albino figures. I have not seen that personally. There's been some feature duels with albino figures. But if you want to head over to my Discord, post up your player ID, not your game ID, your support ID, but your player ID. Feel free to do that. Get your friends list built. I hope they expand that in the future. Let me know, what did you guys like about this banner? What is your favorite Pokemon in this banner? And what do you think is a sleeper? Like, I kind of think some of these uncommon, maybe not Tangelo, but the other one, Fermantis. I think Fermantis could find a place in the meta. I think grass/tropical decks could find their way back into the meta. I don't know that Cortana did a whole lot for Ultra Beast decks. They did give the runner, they did give the gold, but it's not a broken figure. But Cortana can actually work in a grass deck as well. So if you think about with Fermantis giving plus 20, that would actually make, you know, if you use that seed, the magical seed plate on this figure as well, you know, you got plus 40 there. It's not a bad attacker, especially for a runner. Let me know in the comments below how you guys think this banner went. Do you like the banner? Did you pull in new figures? Let me know what your best pulls were. And until next time.